Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt drained, even though no one said a word? Have you ever shared your truth and felt the energy shift, as if your clarity was too much for the space you were in? Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, and today we're discussing one of the most overlooked secrets to inner growth and sustained clarity: the power of environment. You may have heard this ancient saying, if you want to know a person's future, look at their surroundings. It's true, not just physically, but spiritually. Because no matter how strong your will, no matter how pure your intentions, if your environment is misaligned with your path, it will pull you down like gravity. Today, we're going to reveal 3 types of environments that those on a spiritual or conscious path should consciously avoid. These are places that may seem harmless, even exciting or comfortable, but beneath the surface, they're slowly corroding your clarity, your progress, and your energy. And equally important, we'll also explore 3 kinds of truths that are not meant to be publicly displayed. Why? Because revealing them too soon to the wrong people in the wrong space can actually drain your spiritual power and disrupt your karmic field. Let's begin with the first kind of environment: places that center around addiction, not healing. How? Addiction doesn't just mean substances. There are environments built entirely around the worship of stimulation. Bars, nightclubs, casinos, even some luxury events. On the surface, they look like leisure, but look closer and you'll see the same rhythm: constant noise, endless consumption, quick highs followed by spiritual emptiness. Let me tell you the story of Rui, young consultant from the city. Every Friday night, he'd join colleagues at a popular bar. He told himself it was networking, bonding, harmless fun. But every Saturday morning, he felt a kind of fog, not just from alcohol, but from something deeper: dulling of intuition. One night, as he sat in the corner of the bar, surrounded by laughter and flashing lights, a thought pierced through. No one here is actually present. He began experimenting. One weekend, he stayed home, cooked a meal, journaled. The next weekend, he hiked alone at dawn. And by the 3rd weekend, he realized something shocking. His anxiety had dropped, his sleep had improved, and he felt clear. This is not about moral judgment. It's about energetic hygiene. Some places are simply designed to pull you away from yourself. And if you're trying to build clarity, peace, or vision, you have to protect the soil you're planting in. The second kind of place to avoid: places built on gossip, status, and appearance. This includes certain social circles, influencer parties, exclusive clubs, and even workplaces where the dominant currency is image over substance. Let me tell you about Elena. You worked in fashion pre. Her world was champagne launches, curated Instagram feeds, and whispered gossip about who wore what. First, it felt exciting. He was part of something important. But over time, she noticed something eerie. No one ever talked about real emotions. Vulnerability was weakness. Every compliment was a strategy. You realized he was slowly being trained, not to be authentic, but to perform. So if he made a radical choice, he left. Started working in a quiet nonprofit, spent her weekends in meditation and art. Wasn't glamorous, but it was real. In her words, I stopped being seen by the world and finally started seeing myself. The third kind of place to beware of: spaces that feel spiritually exciting but lack real depth. Yes, this includes some modern spiritual circles. Places that promise instant manifestation, secret hacks to enlightenment, or high-vibe-only events that avoid all shadow work. Let me be clear, not all spiritual spaces are safe. Some are built not to liberate, but to entertain. They sell identity instead of inquiry. Let me share the story of Kai. He joined us conscious communities that met weekly. First, it felt profound: group meditations, ecstatic dances, cacao ceremonies. But soon, he noticed something off. No one stayed after for real connection. Every conversation was spiritual performance. When someone cried, others took selfies. One day, he brought up a real issue: his father's illness. The group leader said, "You're lowering the vibration." That's when he realized this wasn't healing. It was escapism in sacred disguise. He left, found a local monastery, White Ambo Sinsure. That's where his real healing began. So, to recap, not in bullet points, but in truth, beware of places built on stimulation, performance, or spiritual ego. They're not evil, but they are dangerous to someone walking a path of authenticity. Now, let's shift to the second part of today's wisdom: 3 things that should never be flaunted or shared too openly, especially when they're still growing. The first, your spiritual practices. When you first start meditating, praying, fasting, or doing inner work, it's tempting to share. You want validation. But every time you speak about it before it's fully rooted, you leak energy. Why? Because you turn something sacred into something performative. Real practice is like a seed. It needs darkness, silence, time. Once it blooms naturally, your life will speak louder than words ever could. The second, your goals or vows. There's a reason monks take vows in silence or in closed ceremony. When you speak your goals too soon, you expose them to doubt, envy, and misalignment. You also activate premature pressure, which can distort your pace. Let them grow inside you until they burn quietly, surely, like a fire that doesn't need fuel from outside. The third, your acts of service. The highest form of giving is anonymous. The highest form of virtue is invisible. When you share your charity, your kindness, your sacrifices, hoping for praise or admiration, you dilute the merit. As one elder said, "Good deeds rot in the sun. Let them rest in the shade of silence." So, what does this all mean practically? Means if you're serious about walking the path of awakening and not just talking about it, you need to master 2 disciplines: where you place your body and where you place your words. Your body is a tuning fork. Environments tune it. Your words are a vibration. The wrong audience distorts them. So guard both, not out of fear, but out of reverence. I ask you, are there places in your life that are quietly draining your spirit? Are there conversations you leave feeling smaller, not seen? Or are you broadcasting sacred things that are still fragile inside you? If this spoke to you, stirred something inside you, or reflected something you already knew but hadn't said aloud, share with us in the comments. What space did you leave that changed everything? What secret practice do you now protect with silence? And if this message helped you, please subscribe, like, and share it with someone who's on the path but needs protection along the way. Because growth isn't just about what you do. It's about where you do it and who you become when no one's watching. Thank you for watching this video.
Before you leave, here's something special. In Buddhism, we believe that every encounter carries a deeper meaning. Would you like to discover your true soul connection, the one written into your destiny? Take the Soulmate Test today and unveil the hidden truths of your journey. Click the link below and begin your path now.
http://soulmate. You wisdom more, come, white.